On today's Glory Days show, we continue with the 2016 baseball extravaganza as the start of the season is finally upon us.
Three more correspondents will join us today to talk about their teams and their chances as baseball is back in business tomorrow.
Ryan COLPITTS will join us to talk about Toronto. Jake KREBS will talk about the Cardinals, and our good pal Joe Bartagna will talk about his beloved Milwaukee Brewers.
So to honor the passing of one of my favorite fake TV talk show hosts, the great Gary Shandling, who portrayed Larry Sanders, let me say, no flipping. The best hour of your sports week is coming up as we continue the baseball extravaganza on Glory Days right now. Inravio.com. Hey now. Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, April 2nd, 2016, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Descafani. This is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C right here in the great state of New York. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing all
Did
right.
you survive April Fool's Day yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
Anybody pull anything funny on you or anything?
Not one thing that I know of.
Okay. Let's hope it stays that way.
I really think that, you know what, everybody is like so prepared now for
Yeah.
April 1st. I wonder if like we should start doing things like maybe April 2nd.
Yeah, like today, okay. No show, okay. No Skype, I don't know.
Did you ever watch the Larry Sanders Show? I know you
Yeah,
didn't
a little
have
bit,
it.
little
Yeah,
bit.
I used to love the Gary Sanders
Yeah.
Show. I was a big fan of Larry Sanders and Hank Kingsley with his, hey now.
I think I probably liked Fernwood Tonight better, I think.
Fernwood Tonight. That was
Martin Mull.
Martin Mull. But I always liked Gary Shandling. Actually, I wish we could play the theme song to the original Gary Shandling show.
What is it? Is it?
This is the theme to Gary's show. You never?
Oh yeah. No, I don't think I have.
Kyle, I should see if you could find that for me. The theme to the original Gary Shandling show. It's about 30 seconds long.
Okay.
Can we just sing it?
It's copyrighted. We don't want that copyright infringement.
But anyway.
So the baseball season's starting, which is great.
That is exactly right.
We had a little scare earlier this week with Matt Harvey. Mm-hmm. And like everything else related to Matt Harvey, everything gets bigger than it needs to be.
It goes to 11.
His opening night start was in jeopardy due to, at the time, an undisclosed or a non-disclosed medical condition, which wound up being a blood clot in his bladder.
Yeah, you know
and he said he wasn't urinating enough. I almost said that word.
I think you said it anyway. But you know what I had a problem with the whole thing? First of all, Met fans are neurotic to begin with because every time the Mets announce an injury, you know, they don't get sore throats, they get tonsillitis.
Right.
You know? And every little thing turns into something gigantic.
Well, wasn't it last year with Zach Wheeler? Oh, it's nothing big, and next thing you know, he's out for the season.
Well, David Wright.
You know? Yeah.
David Wright.
Yeah.
Right? Missed 5 months of the season.
He tweaked his hamstring.
Yeah.
You know?
But you would think that why would they, if they have to say something, because everybody's wondering, where is Matt
but they didn't say anything, though, which, you know, it's not his arm.
But they made it worse.
I know they did.
They made it worse.
Did.
A non-baseball related injury.
Yeah.
Okay? A medical injury.
Yeah.
So, of course, what are you going to think? Everybody's thinking, oh, he's got an STD. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I thought it was like Dwight Gooden Part 2. You know what I mean? Where this guy is out in a bender someplace or something like that. And then they said it was after his birthday. I said, "Oh man, here we go. This guy's a Tardo," is what he is. But once it was disclosed, the press had a field day, and of course, this turns into its whole thing. So, the New York Post, the back page on a day, I guess after they announced what it was, the headline was, "You got to relieve," is what it said. Okay, but there were about 6 or 7 other ones that were passed over. Okay, Whiz Kid. Okay, now he's a reliever. Swinging a piss. Okay, Field of Streams. Piss and Tell, P-Brain, and my favorite, MVP, PEE is what it was.
Well, you know, when he came back from the whole thing, he said what it was, right? Which is good.
But now he's not talking to the press because he's mad at him. I don't know, it's just the Post or it's everybody.
They're just we're just having fun with it. You know, you and I both understand HIPAA law more than anybody else because we are healthcare professionals, okay? But they could have, if they are going to come out and say something, all they could have said is just he's having a urinary issue or urinary tract issue or something, and that would have been it.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have allayed all the fears. And although granted, I understand, people making fun of it and having fun with it, but it really was quite serious.
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, nobody's
that could kill you.
Yeah.
You know. And that's why, one of the players, Travis d'Arnaud, was quoted as saying, our prayers are with him and his family. And everybody just went, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And everybody was thinking everything. And again, I don't know who is in charge of media relations for the Mets, but it's just a disaster.
Man, Matt Harvey, I mean, he's got to grow up, this guy, man. I mean, I tell you what, he is the one guy I don't care if they keep him beyond when his contract is done. Because this guy, he's just a headache, is all he is. He's bigger than life. At least he thinks he is. You know what
he
I mean?
is?
If it was DeGrom, he would have just laughed the whole thing off. All these other guys would have laughed it off, but not him. He's got very thin skin. He is, even though he's a knucklehead, I guess he's our knucklehead.
He's our knucklehead. You know who I compare him to?
Who?
Christy Brinkley.
Christy Brinkley, why?
All right. Christy Brinkley. Even today at
the
60,
Uptown Girl?
The Uptown Girl, even at 60, is one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Okay, so I'm not seeing the parallel yet. Okay.
That's what everybody sees, the fact that she is a beautiful woman. Mm-hmm. She married Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Billy Joel divorced her. Okay? What is wrong with Christy Brinkley?
Well, and then she got married again, and this guy was a sex fiend or something.
Right.
I don't know what sex addict.
She got divorced again.
Yeah.
And she got divorced. She's been divorced 3 times. Mm-hmm. So you were talking
there's
about
more than
Matt
meets
Harvey.
the eye there.
Right, exactly. Okay. Christy Brinkley must be very high maintenance.
Well, it's a possibility. I mean,
which is kind of like what I think Matt Harvey is. He's high maintenance.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Okay. So you did tie it up for me. Good for you.
Because Billy Joel is a troll.
He's not a very good-looking guy.
For him to be able to get somebody like Christy Brinkley.
But he's got cash, man, and he writes great songs,
And so does Matt Harvey.
Well, the cash, I love
now he's got cash, or at least he's going to have a lot of cash.
Now, switching gears, I know we got a couple minutes. We want to get to the last installment of our
No, we got one more installment next week.
Okay. So, on the eve of Syracuse's men's basketball NCAA Final Four appearance, Coach Jim Boeheim said breaking the rules and cheating are different.
They are?
Cheating, that's what he said. Cheating is intentionally doing something. I don't know. The NCAA concluded an 8-year investigation last March, determined that they had a lack of control, or he had a lack of control over the program, and committed such violations as improper financial benefits for the players, a coach helping a player remain academically eligible by completing his coursework, and not adhering to drug testing programs, Sanctions included, for Boeheim, loss of scholarships. He had to vacate 108 wins that he had in the NCAAs, and a 9-game suspension. But I don't know how you can say that breaking the rules is not cheating. I mean, isn't that the definition of cheating, is breaking the rules?
Listen, If you talk to the New England Patriots,
Well, okay.
they don't think they're breaking the rules.
Well, I know. They should be hanging out together.
If you talk to the Yankees, they don't think they're breaking the rules.
Well, what are the Yankees
all
doing?
Their
breaking the
PED
rules?
players and
I see.
all their steroid players. If you look at St. Louis Cardinals, another successful organization that gets caught breaking into other teams' databases and stuff like that. There is a reason why these teams are successful and they win. They know how to, you want to call it manipulate the system or get away.
I mean, if he said we bent the rules, I can see bending the rule. But once you break a rule, that's a violation, don't you think?
Listen, you know what? It got Donald Trump into a lot of trouble this week.
Yeah.
They proposed a question to Donald Trump, and they said, if abortion were illegal, would you punish the woman? So, of
First
course,
he said yes, then he said no.
Well, but of course he said yes because theoretically, I guess, if it's illegal, everyone should be punished. But of course, that blew up in his face.
Yeah.
But everyone, that again, it's how you ask the question.
True.
And if you are breaking the rule, you need to be punished. And I don't know how he's not suspended.
Yeah, I don't. On the eve of his team getting to the Final Four, he's saying this.
Well, you know what? Unless he did something like that, sometimes coaches say something like this to take the pressure off the kids.
True.
Because now every media person is going to be in front of the coach's room instead of asking the players about what is most likely the biggest games of their young career, right?
Yep.
So
no doubt.
Maybe he's not stupid.
Oh, I don't know. I think he is.
You know what happened? When you get...
I wish we had a bigger audience. I tell you, man, I get myself in so much trouble today already. I'm calling Matt Harvey a knucklehead. I'm calling out Jim Boeheim, Malman and Mr. B, He's on a roll today.
Breaking all the rules.
Okay.
You see,
I want to be a shock jock, Disco. That's what I want to be.
You see, I asked permission for the Gary Shandling thing.
Yeah.
I should have just snuck it in there, and they would have put it on for us.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Ready as I'm ever going to be.
We're just getting started here in the Glory Days Show. It's time to get to our correspondence report, and when we get back, we'll have Ryan Colpitts live from Ontario to talk about his defending AL East champion Toronto Blue Jays. Waiting on deck is Jake KREBS to talk about St. Louis, and Joe Baltania is in the hole waiting to talk about his turn for the Milwaukee Brewers. No flipping. Stay with us. You're watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Unradio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network.
Hey now.
Hey man. The Toronto Blue Jays won the AL East by 6 games over the Yankees last year and led the major leagues with 481 runs scored, over 100 runs more than the number 2 team. But in the AL Division Series against Texas, they lost the first 2 games at home. Then they needed to sweep the final 3 games to advance to what was a wild Game 5. But their promising season came to a crushing end in the League Championship Series when they once again found themselves down 2-0 to the Kansas City Royals, eventually losing the series in 6 games. Where does that leave our neighbors in the Great White North as they prepare to defend their AL East title? Let's find out from our one and only Canadian correspondent who joins us, Ryan Colpitts. Ryan, you there?
I am.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Good, good.
All right, man. How are you?
I think the last time we talked to you, we were Skyping in from, I think you were doing food shopping or something, if I recall.
Yeah, I was at the Pickering flea markets. It was a good time. And you know what? I also like being called the one and only. You know,
There you go, one and only.
They call me the man, the myth, the legend.
All of the above.
Yeah, well, unless you know somebody else, right now you're the only one.
Perfect. Good
And we won't
stuff.
even bring up the Maple Leafs, okay? You know.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. Quick thing about that. I already said it was a 5-year plan because with Babcock coming in with that,
Yeah.
you got to restructure the team, then go from there. So I said it's at least a 4 or 5 year plan. Just like I said to the Jays when they got Dickey and all them back in, I believe it was 2012, I said, it's going to be at least a 3-year plan so they make playoffs. And what happens? They made playoffs.
There you go.
Well, you
All
know
right,
what?
you are the man, the myth, the legend. Let's face it, okay.
So, we obviously have a lot in common because we had promising seasons. We got to the postseason and they ended fairly disappointing. And for us, they ended both against the same teams. And I realized probably just last month how I really didn't enjoy the run the way I should have. You know,
Well, you were stressing out every game.
every day I was stressed out, and I'm sure you had the same thing. Have you gotten over this yet?
You know what? I honestly did, especially with the way the offseason kind of worked out for us. We have a very similar face-to-face lineup coming into the 2016 season as we did last year, minus the departures of Ben Revere, LaTroy Hawkins, who retired, as well as Price and Burley.
Yeah, David
Burley
Price, that's a
hasn't
big loss
officially
there.
retired. You know what, though? Honestly, any baseball fan that actually was mindseted thinking that we're going to keep David Price after the 2015 season was delusional, and probably the same ones that called the umpires referees during the playoffs. Honestly, yes, it would have been nice to keep Price, but when all was said and done, you have an excellent ace and starter within Marcus Stroman.
Right.
He didn't obviously have much of a chance to prove himself last year,
Yeah.
but the fact of the matter is that when he did come back in September, first off, the guy wasn't even supposed to play at all.
Yeah.
So coming back in September, and then not only that, but starting the games in the playoffs, that is huge. And the fact that he shut them down, we just couldn't get the run support for him, but he shut them down. He did unreal. So I'm okay sending Price off to pay $210 million because who knows, he might get a blown arm in Boston, and there goes him, right?
You know, those types of players, when they sign those tremendous contracts, I really think they handcuff the organization's future, unless you're the Yankees or the Boston Red Sox. You know, where they just don't seem to care how much they're paying their players. I mean, obviously the Yankees are paying the price this year. I mean, they've got 3 guys that would barely even be starters on any other team. Teixeira, CC Sabathia, and A-Rod. You know, and what are you supposed to do with those guys?
Yeah.
Now, well, like you look at, for example, the lineup that we have going into today. Pilar's going to be lead off, which I think is a huge kind of step in the right direction for not only for him as his playing career, but for the Jays as well. Because with the departure of Ben Revere, you're going to need that leadoff guy. Now, some guys were thinking Tulowitzki. Some guys were thinking JD because he had started a couple games on the leadoff spot. But with Pilar being the size he is and how fast he is, I think it's an excellent move.
Yeah, that's one of the names, I guess, that we'll get to know a little bit more about this year is Kevin Pilar. Stroman, I think he's a key player for them. Player that needs, I think, to step up. How about the relief pitching? You got Drew Storm in there now?
We have, well, Jesse Chavez is in there.
Yep.
We still have Brett Cecil. We have guys like Arnold Leon, Aaron Loop, Roberto Osuna, and Drew Storm are going to be the 1 and 2 closers. You also have Ryan Tepera in the bullpen, as well as Bo Schultz. So, again, very similar to last year. The only additions really to that are Jesse Chavez, Gavin Floyd, Gavin Floyd and Arnold Leon were already in the minor league system, so they've just got their opportunity to come up to the major leagues. But you have the veteran in Drew Storm. Now, what's really nice about that is that if Osuna does go down with injury, knock on wood, he doesn't. But if for whatever reason, or even if he needs a day off, if they have like a 10-game stretch sort of thing, then you have the arm in Drew Storm to be able to shut the teams down because he has that experience.
What about the return of your lineup here? I mean, obviously they led the league in runs scored last year. Where are we going to be with this offense again this year?
I think, honestly, we're going to have the same kind of offense because you still have the 2 to 5 guys that are going to be there. You have Donaldson, you have Bautista, you have Encarnacion, you have Martin. It's virtually the exact same as last year. You just have a little bit of a change up between probably the 7, 8, 9 kind of guys. But overall, especially with Edwin and Bautista looking like they might not come back to the Toronto Blue Jays, they're going to be fighting for a contract spot as well.
Yeah.
So
Bautista's in a walk for sure. Yep.
Yeah, they're not going to just slack off and just be like, oh, if I get signed, I get signed. If, for example, for Edwin, it definitely doesn't look like we're going to be signing Edwin back. So he's going to be playing the best he can to not only not let his team down that he's currently with, but to also show other teams that he is a player for contention of talk, saying that he's worth the money. It's just that at the end of the day, we already have a couple first basemen. And with the way I look at it, with Bautista getting up there in age, you could move Bautista to the DH and then get another right fielder. So then that way you still have Bautista's bat in the lineup, but then you're not wearing down his arm as much if you need to put him back out in the outfield.
Do you worry at all about the Boston Red Sox?
No. Not at all. Everybody's worried because everybody thinks that the Jays are done. Like, they put a fork in them, they're done. But the thing is that the only reason people think that is because the different teams in the AL East went out and got players. For example, Boston got David Price. Right. So everybody's like, oh, there goes our season. But when you look at the stats and who's actually still in the lineup, I think they'll play second or third. They won't do as bad as they did last year, but I don't think they'll catch up to the first place again.
All right, so you think they're coming back into first place? They're going to win this division?
Oh, the Jays? Yeah, 100%.
Of course, we have Sammy Stone, our resident knucklehead.
Sammy Stone.
Yo.
Tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Toronto Blue Jays make the playoffs this year?
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, that could be good for you.
I mean, it sounds like you need to put new batteries in that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Right after we take a break.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, and good luck. We'll be talking to you during the year.
Yes, for sure. And one more thing, I just
Sure.
wanted to add one last thing.
Go ahead.
Listen to this. That's the bat drop or bat flip that we'll be hearing a couple times this year.
Jose Bautista, the best bat flip of the year last year.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. Thanks a lot, man.
Good talking to you, Ryan. The man, the myth, the legend.
The man,
Ryan
the myth.
Colpitts.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the Glory Day Show. And when we get back, let's go to St. Louis.
Sounds good.
Meet me in St. Louis.
We'll do this East St. Louis Toodaloo.
And we'll talk to Jake Krebs about the Cardinals. And waiting on deck is Joe Battaglia. So stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco only on the Inravio TV network. No flipping. Coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com. For over 60 years, Hansen Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hansen Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansenCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hansen Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hey now. Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. The St. Louis Cardinals had a miserable last 2 weeks of the season, but still managed to be the only team to get to 100 wins on the season. But they fought with the Pirates and the Cubs all season long, and they finished with 98 and 97 wins each, making the National League Central the best division in baseball.
The Beast.
The Beast. But injuries and free agent defections have put a big chink in their armor. They've been to the postseason 12 times since 2000, including the last 5 years in a row. But all the buzz this year has been about the Cubs and their chances at breaking their World Series drought of 108 years. Are the Cardinals going to be able to make it back to the postseason for a 6th consecutive year? I'm sure Sammy Stone knows the answer. But let's hear what our correspondent Jake Krebs has to say, shall we? Jake, how are you?
Doing fine, guys. How you doing this morning?
Good.
All right. So what's going on in St. Louis? You guys a little nervous out there?
I'll be honest. There's some nerves going on. As you know, the media hype is pretty in favor of Chicago right now, and we like being the underdogs. We did it in 2011. We did it in 2006. But there's some nervousness. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
What do you think is their biggest challenge going to be this year?
The biggest challenge this year, I think, is going to be health. We've seen it in our past few postseason runs. Our big name guys have gone down, and I think in particular with the pitching staff, we saw tons of fatigue and some injuries last year to the starting rotation. So I think that's going to be the key factors, health. I think healthy with this team on paper, I do believe the pitching rotation actually may be improved from last year, but health is the number one thing, no doubt about it.
So you lost John Lackey to Chicago, of all places. That's not so good. You lost Lance Lynn to Tommy John surgery. But you're getting back Adam Wainwright, Carlos Martinez, and you signed Mike Leake to a big deal there, too. So I think your pitching looks in pretty good shape right now, I would say.
Yeah, I think that you've got a very comparable staff to what you do last year. So, you hate to see, John Lackey going over to the rival Cubs, but he was kind of that dependable, guy. You're gonna know what he's gonna give you every time he goes out, and essentially Mike Leake is going to be replacing that exact role. Lance Lynn down with the surgery, like you guys said, but we've got Adam Wainwright back. So, I think it's going to be a very comparable staff. So I'm not too concerned about pitching.
So you make an unbelievable offer to Jason Hayward, and he turns you down. He winds up signing again with the Cubs. How disappointing was that?
It was, it was very, I think it was a little bit raw for the fans, to be honest. The fans were a little bit raw about it. And I know not all the details of the offers have been out there, but there was at least, I think, reportedly one offer even higher than St. Louis, bringing, the Cubs out of the picture. So it's hard to, exactly figure out what was going on there. But, we expected him to come back. We made him a reasonable offer. He seemed to be a good fit for the team, and I think we treated him pretty well. So I don't know if there was maybe some clubhouse animosity going on, maybe some headbutting going on, but something surely went down that we're not really sure what happened there.
Well, I was a little surprised because, first of all, I was surprised at the amount of money he signed for because, he's a really good player. You got to see him play every game last year, but he wasn't. I didn't think he was that type of a player that worth that kind of money. The incredible contract that he got. I know that you guys obviously had big plans for him, but you know what? Again, those contracts kill teams.
Talk about staying healthy. Molina's been hurt the last 2 years. At least he missed games in both. Hopefully, he stays healthy this year. He's really the world-class catcher, I think.
Yeah. It's tough to say for sure. It's looking at a guy like Jason Hayward. Like you guys said, that kind of a contract, you're expecting huge offensive numbers, and he's consistent, and he's going to give you a little bit of power off the bench. Not a ton, but a little bit. And he's going to give you a decent average, and he's going to steal some bases. But you're just paying for his arm out there in right field. He's got all the assists, but it's hard to, like you guys said, really, reason how we can throw that kind of money, $200, around like that. It seems absurd, and I think you're right. It can kill a team.
Peralta gets hurt for you, and you bring in our guy, Ruben Tejada, as a stopgap. You're going to like Ruben Tejada.
I was just going to ask you guys, what should I expect with him? I know he's kind of a young guy out there, but he was having a bit of a preseason with us out there in Jupiter, Florida. I think he was 6 for 22 and showing a little bit of power, and we're all starting to get excited. He seemed to be the exact replacement we needed there for Johnny Peralta.
He's
all of a sudden he goes down.
He's a really good sound shortstop. He's going to make all the basic plays for you. He turns a nice double play. He's no Ozzie Smith. I've never seen him do a backflip, but also he has always been a guy who's a clutch hitter. He doesn't strike out a lot, and he seems to be. He's been showing more power, but the problem is when he hits a home run, he tries to keep hitting home runs. And that makes him pop up a lot more than he should. If he keeps the ball on the ground, he's fast. He's a good guy. I was really disappointed that the Mets didn't keep him just because we still don't know what's going on, obviously, with David Wright. And if Wilmer Flores is going to have to play third for the games that Wright can't play, who's my backup infield?
Yeah.
Right.
So
how about Matt Holliday?
He's I think we're fair to say peaked in his career, and there's nothing wrong with that because he's been nothing but consistent for us out there, offensively. But we saw a move that's kind of making us Cardinals fans scratch our head a little bit here in the preseason out in Florida. He's playing some first base, so I think this may be another sign here of his aging and his decline. It's not like we're an American League team, so seeing him kind of move is a little bit odd, but yeah, he's going to be taking some rounds, and I think some innings there at first base. So it's. I think he's gonna get you 20 home runs, but his average may take a bit of a hit this year.
Well, the Cardinals usually don't have a lot of questions, but first base is definitely a question for them this year.
Oh yeah, I mean we've got 3 guys for sure. I mean Matt Holliday being in the mix, we've got Brandon Moss, and then also Matt Adams, all going to be juggling around first base. So it's definitely probably our most unlocked position.
I guess as you were asking before, Bruce, about the injuries and stuff, I guess with most teams, a lot of things depend on the injuries, and everybody's going to have, go through injuries. You
just hope your key guys don't get injured as well.
But you got to hope your key guys don't. You guys are starting to get a little bit of an aging team here. You got to keep your catcher healthy. But you look at Chicago, 97 wins, Pittsburgh, 98 wins. The Cubs, on paper, seem to have gotten better. The Pirates kind of stayed the same, although, they now have Jonathan Neese, who they could have. Where do you think St. Louis is going to come this year? Where do you think they fit in that mix? Are they going to win this division, or are you conceding it to the Cubs already?
I don't have an answer. I do not have an answer. I think this is going to be such a battle again, and you can't count out Pittsburgh again. I just don't know how it's going to fall 1, 2, 3. I feel like very strongly that we're going to have a wild card come out of the Central once again. But I have not made up my mind. I think I'm going to throw the number out there, 94 wins.
Okay.
But I just don't know if that's good enough with this division.
Well, you know what? 94 wins might be good enough for a playoff spot. Let's find out what Sammy Stone says. Sammy Stone.
Yo.
Tell me the future.
Okay, ask me.
Will the Cardinals make the playoffs this year?
Maybe, maybe not.
That's the same answer he gave for Toronto. This guy's a broken record, man.
So Sammy Stone's not helping us at all here today. So you know what? I'm going to go with you. I think they're a mid-90s win team this year, only because, you got 2 very bad teams in the division. And I don't mean that, Joe. Don't get upset.
Yeah,
Joe Battaglia is coming on right after us to talk about the Milwaukee. But when you have 3 teams that almost win 300 games, okay, 2 teams are not going to do well. And unfortunately for the Brewers and the Reds, they have to play all 3 of those teams 18 times each. So listen.
I never count the Cardinals out just like I never count the Yankees out.
Never.
They're a class organization. They always find a way to win. They find, they have injuries and they seem to overcome those injuries. I think they're a playoff team for sure.
And you think so too, right?
I do think so. I hate to say this, and it really hurts me, but deep down I probably want to say the Cubs take the division. But I still think we're going to come back as the dark horse in the wild card and really make a push there in the late October. So
the Cubs can win a division. They're not going to win the World Series, man. They just can't do that.
Hey, listen, last year on paper, everybody was anointing the Washington Nationals.
That's true. And they didn't even make the playoffs.
So you got that going for you.
Right. I think last year, we're looking at the Cubs and they really kind of, just rebelled in being the underdog and being, kind of the young team who hadn't arrived yet. And I think now that they have arrived and there's all this media hype and they're expected to do it all. I mean, Vegas says they're going to do it all, and, they may not be
a lot of pressure.
Produced, like you guys said. Yeah, just like the Nationals last year.
Hey, are you saying that the Cubs are going to win just because you don't want to get on the bad side of your mother-in-law?
Yeah, I kind of have to.
There you go. All right. Full disclosure.
Well, yeah.
Listen, I don't want to get on the bad side of your mother-in-law either. So. All righty, Jake, thanks a lot, and we'll be talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thanks, Bruce.
You're welcome. All right.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the 2016 Glory Days Baseball Extravaganza as we continue with our correspondent reports. Our good buddy, Joe Battaglia, has been warming up in the bullpen. So what can you say? We'll bring him in to close out the show.
Works for me.
All right. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. No flipping. Coming right back.
over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. So far today, we've heard about the best team in the AL East and the team with the best record in all of baseball last year. Time to go to the other end of the spectrum. Although the Milwaukee Brewers compete in the uber-competitive National League Central, they wake up every morning and thank the heavens for the Cincinnati Reds. Even though they suffered 94 losses last season and have traded 12 players with Major League experience since the end of July, they can still say they are better than the Reds, well, by 4 games at least. But with the new season comes new hope, and all those trades netted a number of good prospects for the Brew Crew. Here to tell us all about it is the always well-informed and slightly entertaining Joe Battaglia. Joe, how are you?
Very well. How are you going?
Good, good.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Wait a minute. Before we do anything with Joe, I always want to know, where are you?
I am in Kiel, Wisconsin, at home.
Ah, okay. So you're sitting in your den in your underwear.
No, I am dressed, actually.
Oh, okay.
What are you
I thought
wearing?
maybe that's why you didn't
What
want
are you
to do Skype.
But I'm looking out my window, and it's snowing.
Snow.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding
So
me?
it's good that we're talking about baseball with you then. Okay.
I am dead serious. It's
When's the Brewer home opener?
The Brewer home opener is on Monday, and we're going. We have our tickets. And fortunately, though, we have a roof on our stadium.
There you go.
Oh, that's true. I was going to say, is the giveaway a shovel?
No. The giveaway is a magnet. But no,
There you go.
It was a very controversial thing when Miller Park was built as to whether they would put a roof on it. It was about $100 million issue, and a lot of us said it's crazy not to. I mean, with the crummy weather we have in April, leading into May even, and then in September, this thing will pay for itself in terms of just attendance. If people gate walk up when you have bad weather in the early spring. And,
There's when they were originally looking to do the renovations for the Mets at Citi Field, the original stadium design was going to have a removable. It was going to be a dome. But not a retractable dome, a field dome. And what they were going to do was remove the field. The field was going to be on rollers. And at the end of every game and during the day, they were going to roll the field out into like the parking lot so that they could continue to have the sunlight and the rain and whatever they needed. And when they played the games, they were going to roll it back in.
You're kidding me.
No, I swear, that was the original design. Because they wanted to try, and they were going to put an ice rink in there for hockey, and they wanted to be able to do basketball because they wanted to get like a Final Four or, NCAA games there.
I see.
That was the original design. Then the second design was basically Citi Field with a retractable roof. But they decided that was going to be too much money. And, I've been in many baseball games where I froze my tuchus off.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, that's going to happen with the Yankee fans, I think, on Monday. They're talking about a little snow with us tomorrow. Although I don't think it's going to be. Are you getting accumulating snow there, Joe, or is it just flurries?
Oh, no, it's accumulated. I've got a couple of instances. After I get done talking to you guys, I got to go fire up the snowblower.
All righty, so let's think warm thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's think shirt sleeves and sunshine.
Yes, I'm all for that.
All right, so you guys are in full rebuilding mode. Talk to us about, I mean, obviously what's gone is gone. The players that you have are gone. You've got the youngest general manager in baseball right now. Talk to us about the players that are going to be part of the Milwaukee Brewers this year.
Well, when you say we're in a full rebuilding mode, that implies that we just finished a teardown and are starting from scratch. I don't really think we're at that point. I think the genius of what David Stern did is that he realized that he had some pretty decent basis to build on, and he went out and he picked up a couple of guys like Carter for first base who are going to maybe help the team be stronger. Didn't trade away pieces like Lucroy. And by accelerating the development of some of the prospects, Santana is going to be starting for us in right field. Arcia probably will be up sometime this summer at the shortstop position. I think that he believes, and I tend to agree with him, that the team could be, I'm not going to say competitive, but at least more fun to watch sooner. Including potentially this year and certainly next, and not be 4 or 5 years away, but be 2 years away from being able to jump into the wild card discussion.
We here in New York have had that for a little bit. We had a couple of years where we were supposed to be good and we weren't,
right.
And then we had the last 2-3 years. We started to see a little bit of that light at the end of the tunnel thing, and we started to see. Our younger players start to develop, and as Met fans, we get that a lot, because we don't. This team the Mets have never been a team that went out and signed big stars, because whenever we signed big free agents and stars, they were all on the backsides of their career,
right.
So we were signing them for something they did with other teams.
Talking about Willie Mays, I guess you're talking
things
about.
like Willie Mays, even guys like Bonilla and.
I don't know. Carlos Beltran, I wouldn't put in that category, and I wouldn't put Cespedes in that category either.
No, Cespedes is different. Cespedes is different.
Yep.
But it just seems that players would come to the Mets and their careers would end here within a year.
Right. I guess the question mark is who's going to close for you guys? Francisco Rodriguez is gone.
K-Rod.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, Craig Counsell was clearly looking at doing a closer by committee with Will Smith and Jeremy Jeffress.
Getting jiggy with it, Will Smith. Okay.
the problem, you've probably heard that Will Smith tore his LCL taking off his shoe during spring training. This is not April Fool's, because April Fool's was yesterday. This really happened. So we are down to Jeremy Jeffress. Now, having said that, I think we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. He was a top draft choice. He had some problems. He had some drug usage issues where he was suspended. He actually was out of the organization and wound up coming back through a series of trades. And he's really fit in and solidified. He's a neat young man. I got to spend some time with him at Brewers on Deck during one of the autograph sessions. He and Will Smith are good buds. They were basically trash talking each other the entire time we were there. But he's a very emotional, very positive individual. Really live fastball, can mix things up, and I think he's going to do just fine. And then when you get if Will Smith is able to rehab his knee without doing surgery, and so is able to come back, you're going to have a live arm coming back into the back end of the bullpen in the middle of the season, and that can only help.
That really makes a difference.
Yeah.
When
the
teams
other
start.
nice thing is that we have a bunch of really good young pitchers who are going to be starting out the season in Colorado Springs. who realistically, if someone falters at the top of in the regular rotation, I think particularly of Matt Garza, who had just a stinker of a season last year. You've got guys like Zach Davies and Josh Hader and Jorge Lopez, who are going to be top tier prospects in AAA in Colorado Springs. They can come up and they can slot in right away. And I mean, one of the reasons why I think the Brewers will do better than people are thinking is a lot of the prognostication is based on last year's performance. And I was just looking at the predictions for the pitching rotations, and we had on the list of the top bottom pitchers in 2015 by wins against replacement, we had two in our rotation. We had Matt Garza at a negative 1.73, and we had Kyle Loesch at negative 1.31. Well, Loesch is gone, right? And Garza's still here, but let's see if maybe last year was just an outlier, and he's going to revert back to more of his normal career. Suddenly, you've taken out two really terrible pieces and replaced them with just normal pitchers, just a typical 1 or 0.5. That's quite a difference in
addition by subtraction, huh?
Absolutely.
I almost I was considering going out to the Milwaukee Mets game. The Mets have a group called the 7-Line Army, and they put trips together to the visiting teams. And one of the trips this year is out to Milwaukee, but it's on a date that I couldn't go. Otherwise, my son Kevin and I were considering going on the trip. I would have loved to have seen you and come out there.
Yeah, come on out some other time. We'll show you around. Get you good tickets to the game and show you around our city. It's a beautiful city, particularly in the summertime when it's not snowing.
So that's from July 1st to July 8th, right?
It's a little longer than that. It's from maybe June 21st to August 20th or thereabouts.
All right, not too much.
All righty, Joe. Thanks for calling. We will talk to you again.
Yeah, get out there and snowblow, I guess, okay?
Yeah, good.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. That's our good pal, Joe Botagna. All right, we're going to take one more break here on the Glory Days Baseball Extravaganza, and then we will wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. So, what did we learn today?
Well, we learned it's snowing in Wisconsin, and it's accumulating snow. Joe needs to fire up the snowblower.
It's good that we can be able to get the weather reports.
That's right. Well, I was checking it out before. Actually, you know, the Mets, they open tomorrow night in Kansas City. It looks like it's going to be 75 degrees during the day there, so it should be a decent night, I think, there.
I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, as opposed to the Yankees open on Monday, and it looks like it's going to be in, I guess, the high 40s, you know. I guess that's not that bad. But
what I don't understand is there's so many teams that have domes, and there's so many warm weather teams. Why
Why don't the schedule maker kind of consider that in the grand scheme of things, you know?
I don't know. I just can't understand that.
Yeah.
But who are we to judge?
That's right. The other thing I learned is that if you go to Syracuse, breaking the rules and cheating are two different things. They're not the same. I don't get
Tell that to the police officer that pulls you over.
Well, you know, one of the guys I work with, he went to Syracuse, you know, so I brought that up to him. He goes, oh, you know, and he's a scout leader too, you know what I mean? So he's an upstanding guy. He starts throwing, well, Bruce, you never speeded? I said, hey, man, it's not about that, you know.
No.
If I'm speeding, whether I get caught or not, I'm still breaking the law, okay?
Right.
I mean,
and if I get caught, I'm guilty.
That's right.
I'm not getting caught and saying, well, you know, I'm allowed to speed.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that the St. Louis Cardinals are not afraid of the Chicago Cubs. I don't think they are.
Well, I don't think they should be.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think I might have said this, but
I'm hearing a limb cracking. Okay, go ahead.
the Chicago Cubs are not making the playoffs.
Really?
I am going to go out on a limb and tell you that.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say they're not going to win the World Series.
No, I think they have a meltdown like the Nationals do.
Really?
And I think that the Mets win the division. I think the Mets win the division, and I'm going to say that if they win the division, they win the whole thing this year.
Really?
That's what I think.
All right.
I don't like the Cubs this year. I don't like the Kansas City Royals this year. I don't like them.
Well, we'll get a chance to see them up close and personal Sunday and Tuesday, right?
I think it's going to be Mets and the San Francisco Giants for the National League Championship.
Well, this seems to be the year for the Giants, right? I mean, it's every other year, right?
It's every other year, theoretically.
Yeah.
But so that's my prediction.
All right.
I don't care.
We still got one more week to
says.
go, so and then we'll get into the hockey playoffs.
Yeah.
Big game the Islanders have tonight this afternoon against Pittsburgh.
Big one.
They got 4 big games. They got 6 games left, but they got to play Pittsburgh. They got to play Tampa Bay. They got to play the Capitals, and then the Rangers, and then they finish off against the Buffalo Sabres and the Philadelphia Flyers.
All righty.
All right.
Got to get out of here.
Let's go.
Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Balani Schultz, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. And thanks to our correspondents, Ryan Colpitt from Ontario, Jake Krebs from St. Louis, and Joe Bontana from Wisconsin, where it's snowing. Don't forget, you could read Ryan's Blue Jays and Joe's Brewers game recaps and opinions on the baseball website Around the Horn Talk, and you can also find them on Facebook. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week and allowing us to bring you this type of quality program. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days on-demand page on www.inravio.com, and you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Baseball season starts tomorrow.
Let's go,
Both the Mets and the Yankees facing the teams that eliminated them from the postseason. Mets in Kansas City Sunday night. Yankees take on Houston Monday afternoon at the stadium. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. See you next time. Hey now.
No flipping.
Oh, now you can flip.